silence and silent. We thank you in advance for your cooperation.
That was our safety briefing. So before we begin our agenda, I would like to convey apologies on behalf of several distinguished individuals who are unavailable to have us here today, to join us here today, due to prior commitments. Please note our apologies from our Honorable Minister, Simon Nobrega, Dr. Simon Primus, Avril Reed, Jolie Raja, Frank Sudin, Kumari Ramthahal, Ms. Joan Osborne, Ms. Janiel Fraser, and Ms. Stacia Quintero. They extend their best wishes for a successful and productive 60th Annual General Meeting. Thank you. Now we would like to move on to our confirmation of the agenda for the 60th Annual General Meeting. Thank you, appreciated. Now, our confirmation of the minutes for the 59th. Oh, can I have someone to second? Because I saw a second hand. For the 60th Annual General Meeting. Thank you. Now we move on to the confirmation of minutes for the 59th Annual General Meeting. Thank you, and can I get a secondment? Appreciated, thank you. Now to move on to the matters arising from the minutes, we welcome our President, Ms. Beverly Williams. Please give her a round of applause, please.
Thank you, Ms. Bernard. I know I continue to feel proud to see the growth that takes place in any organization. And I'm honored to see the growth that took place in this officer's journey from being a library attendant, a paraprofessional, and now a library and information professional. Let's give her a round of applause, please. And today, I am proud to announce that Ms. Bernard is now the account executive for EBSCO. So let's give her another round of applause for the Caribbean region. So she'll be, communicating with you all. I am very, very proud to announce that. So jumping into what I was called up here, I'm always going off script, by the way. I might get a timeout soon. We had two critical matters coming out of the minutes of our last meeting. One will be addressed by the LATT representative on the NALIS board, which is the construction of the Chaguanas Library. And the other matter was the financial report that did not take place in the last meeting. We will be having a report. So those are the two matters that would be addressed as the meeting continues. Ms. Bernard?
Thank you, Ms. Williams, even though I didn't really want you to go far, because now we will be moving on to the presentation of reports. And the first report will be done by our president, Ms. Beverly Williams.
I don't have the agenda. Sorry, Ms. Bernard. So I'll jump right in to my report. My boss, during my day job that pays my bills, will tell you that I'm not into these long-winded and, I kind of shy away from these things. But it is a statutory requirement. And therefore, this is a synopsis of the President's report. The balance and the details will be posted on the LATT's website and on other social media pages, as well as all the reports presented today. I will not go through the salutations, but I will just say something about each one of our invited guests who are present at this time. I want to start with the president of the TTPGA. The TTPGA and the Library Association has a long-standing relationship, and we would have partnered with and been invited to several of. We are honored to have the president as one of our guest speakers bringing greetings. I want to move to Ms. Zhu. You know, in my day job again, I had a lot of interactions, and, you know, Ms. Zhu became a household name in Nallis, and, you know, China became a critical partner with us. Thank you for taking the time and to look to partner with the wider association to look at opportunities for our professionals as well as the paraprofessionals in the association. Mr. Larger Than Life, you know, Reagan Asghar Ali. I want to say he's a de facto librarian in that his mom is one of us. And therefore, he is passionate about library services and librarians and the role. We are honored to have the newly minted senior counsel in our midst, Mr. Reagan Asghar Ali, who is attached, as we know, to the IPO office. And IPO meaning Intellectual Property Office. And librarians like to speak in acronyms, and I need to deflect from that. So good morning. I am pleased to welcome you to our 60th Annual General Meeting. This past week has been a very trying one for me personally and my colleagues at Nallis, as we lost one of our fellow library and information professional, one of my dear, dear colleagues. Mr. Green has a larger-than-life personality and will certainly be missed by Nallis and by this wider association. Let us all please take 1 minute, you know, of silence to, you know, remember Mr. Green and all the library and information professionals who would have passed over the last year. Okay, my timekeepers told me the minute is over, but certainly, as I mentioned, Mr. Green, it's really heartbreaking that our colleague was here Monday evening, and then last Monday evening, and then on Thursday we were told of his passing. Notwithstanding, as we soldier on, as we navigate the challenges facing the profession, I want to fully endorse the concept of each one, recruit one, as a means to enhance the sustainability of the profession through a collaborative effort where each member of this association, each library and information professional, actively encourages and mentor new paraprofessionals to become qualified library and information professionals and join the association. And so I want to acknowledge some of the currently enrolled students and recent graduates of the Library and Information Studies program of both CUSTAT and UWI Mona, Jamaica. I am aware, and we are all aware, that librarianship may not be the most attractive profession. But we must demonstrate the significance of the profession, the complexities, and the myriad of opportunities that can be derived through this line of study and joining this very, very noble profession. Each One Recruit One is about fostering a supportive community through synergism. And as Helen Keller speaks in my last address, and I like that, Helen Keller, she speaks in the quote, "Alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much," which encapsulates this year's theme, Synergy for Sustainability, Libraries and Cross-Sector Collaboration. And so also challenges us to foster partnerships which can support education and awareness in order to implement sustainable practices. The library must once again become the community anchor where diverse sectors, be it government, business, NGOs, educational institutions, and the general public can come together to innovate and collaborate. Libraries have the potential to be the heartbeat of this collaboration, leveraging our resources, spaces, and expertise to drive collective action. Sustainability, which encompasses environmental stewardship, economic vitality, and social equity, requires a concerted effort from all sectors of the society. No single entity or sector can tackle these complex challenges alone. This is where libraries come in, and we are unique and powerful connectors. We are not just repositories of information, but active participants in the broader effort to create a sustainable future. As you consider this food for thought, I am happy to share some of the highlights and achievements that the association accomplished in 2023. We all know that we would have collected data at our large AGM and submitted a poster presentation at the ACURAL conference in 2023, which was held in Jamaica, of which 5 of the members of the executive board would have been fortunate to attend, including myself. We consider this a significant achievement since probably about 10 years or so before, we would not have had such a strong presence from the executive board at the ACURAL conference. Number 2, as LATT continued its advocacy for media and information literacy, we engage in the following media and information literacy initiatives and activities. In June 2023, the association participated in a media and information literacy training session at the Queen's Royal College. And in September 2023, we were invited to participate in a campaign organized by the UNESCO's Regional Office for the Caribbean to celebrate the International Day for Universal Access to Information. Due to these efforts and the many other engagements with UNESCO, I am proud to say that the association won the 3rd place at the Global Media and Information Literacy Award. As you can see, we received that accolade as well as a certificate. So let's give ourselves a round of applause. And it has been a robust engagement with UNESCO, and we are proud to continue that engagement. And further to this placement, we were invited to attend the Global Media and Information Literacy Conference in Jordan, which was scheduled to happen in October of 2023. And of course, given the circumstances under which we were asked and the level of representation that was required, we reached out to a member of our association, Dr. Rennick, and she graciously agreed and accepted that invite to represent the Library Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Unfortunately, and of course, Jordan, that conference in Jordan, UNESCO was funding the accommodation and meals and so on, and the Library Association would have actively pursued and paid for the travel arrangements for Dr. Rennick. Unfortunately, trouble is still erupted in Jordan and that region, and therefore the conference was cancelled, and we are still awaiting the final decision as to where the conference will take place. But I think this is a significant achievement, and you can congratulate yourselves. And Dr. Rennick, thank you for accepting that call. In 2023, the association retained its membership, and it's important because these membership cost money, Ms. Green. And we maintained our membership in the TTPGA, who we have represented here by the president, ACURIL, who we as an association are committed to continue to support. Yes, that calls for a round of applause, because we cannot exist without the regional support of the regional association. And we continue to maintain our membership with IFLA. And we all know who IFLA is in the room, the International Federation of Library Associations. Yes, Reagan would know very much about that. Apart from attending ACURIL conference that was previously mentioned, we also supported Ms. Arlene Regis' application in response to IFLA's call for trainers. Measurement, evaluation, and demonstrating the impact of library services, which aim to equip trainers with knowledge and skills to effectively train other librarians and library advocates. This was an excellent opportunity, so please, if you have not had the opportunity to interact with Arlene prior, she's set up right outside next to the tea table, so when you're making the cup of tea, you could have a chat with her. Please feel free to engage. Additionally, I'd like to mention that our secretary, Ms. Jenna, hard-working secretary, Ms. Jenna Sandiford Mundy, and our intrepid program director, who is somewhere out there over the rainbow, Ms. Delise Thomas, attended the annual general meeting of the TTPGA to reinforce our commitment to being an involved member of that association. And I must congratulate the TTPGA. That meeting was very, very, it was excellent from all reports. In addition to the significant accomplishments, I want to just note that the association continued to engage in several civic engagements. In April of 2023, LATT participated, and it is critical, in the NGC Bocas Lit Fest, and by hosting an information booth managed by one of our very, very hardworking liaison officer, Ms. Devi Ramke Lawan, as well as Ms. Gemma, somewhere out there as well, very, very passionate and always willing, in the Let's Read, and also took part in the panel discussion for the Let's Read TT segment. I must congratulate these library and information professionals for always showing up and volunteering and having the visibility of the association presence at these engagements. Like the association, NALIS, being the largest employer of library and information professional in Trinidad and Tobago, of which we have the honor of the executive director and my boss present today, continue to aggressively embrace the importance of developing and maintaining synergies for sustainability. I want to stand here and congratulate the authority for recognizing that need and continuing to forge forward. Some notable achievements of NALIS, and again, as the greatest employer, I just want to highlight some of those achievements. NALIS won the OCLC Caribbean Innovative Cooperation Initiative Award, that's a long word, for the co-location project. That project is an amazing and a groundbreaking project, conceptualized by the manager of corporate communications, whom has been a strong advocate for NALIS and for libraries, and implemented and operationalized by NALIS. It is an ongoing project and has been recognized by OCLC and given an award. I want to also congratulate the authority on the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding with the Library of Cuba and CUSTAT and the many other signing of Memorandums of Understanding. And NALIS really is leading the way, as the Act would have them do, that Act number 18 of 1998, to be the leader and the trailblazer in the delivery of library and information services. I also want to mention that critical signing of the MOU with the National Library of China, another groundbreaking and, something that we need to speak to. And of course, after signing that historical MOC with China, two of LATT's very own the program director, Ms. Dilys Thomas, and the secretary had the opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, to visit China, one for 21 days and one for 14 days. That's a feat. I think they should be given a round of applause. In 2023, NALIS also became a signatory to the Silk Road Alliance, allowing for greater resource sharing and pragmatic cooperation among members to realize peace and cooperation, openness and inclusiveness, mutual learning and mutual benefit. And I owe to this synergy, that's where I'm going, the Library Association, in collaboration with the chairman of the board, the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th board, none other than the intrepid Mr. Neil Parsonal, who is a very strong advocate for library and information professionals, and an advocate for the association, will be exploring the opportunities for wider membership and the professionals and paraprofessionals alike to connect with our international counterparts. Thank you, Ms. Zhu, and could you please express our thanks to China for affording us that opportunity. As such, we are pleased to welcome the Secretary, and I know the attaché is on his way, from the Embassy of the People's Republic of China. Not yet, yes? No, yes. Yeah. But we just want to recognize Ms. Zhu in the room. Please, so give her a round of applause. Sorry about that. NALIS continues to demonstrate cross-sector collaboration through the operations of the Special Libraries Department to foster strategic partnerships and several governmental ministries, state enterprises, and agencies. One such collaboration is with the IPO office, the Intellectual Property Office, who continues to be a passionate advocate for libraries. Reagan Asgarali, Senior Counsel, Controller, IPO, was instrumental in ensuring that libraries was at the forefront, and NALIS becoming the authorized entity under that Marrakesh Treaty. And I think that has been, written into the law, and that deserves a round of applause. Ms. Green, you need to be proud, taking up a lot of my talk time. But because, again, NALIS being the biggest contributor to the professional body, we felt it necessary to speak to those achievements. Mr. Aggarwal as well continues to be a strategic partner with the Library Association from birth. Through his mom, he had no choice, and he continues to partner with us. As we sought to streamline the administrative functions of the association, we shifted all our accounting to online, which enables us to automate the processes, thereby promoting operational efficiency of the association. We are aware that there are some teething issues. So we ask that you bear with us as we make these changes, and as any process of change, there will be teething issues. We have also updated LATT's website and become more active on our Facebook platform, thanks to our public relations and marketing officer, who has been literally stalking me, I must say. As we look further to extend our social media presence, the association will be launching its Instagram page. I understand it has gone live this morning, and increase the reach and visibility of the association. Of course, we can be further along, but we are getting there with an Instagram page. I know that she has a QR code present on the outside that you can scan, and it will take you straight to that page. The association also successfully published the Biblio as well, and I must say it was a well done Biblio with excellent contributions. We are also saying special thanks to the persons who contributed to this edition. In the same vein, I am pleased to announce that the second quarterly edition, that's it there? Oh, that was the one. All right, of the Biblio is also out today, Ms. Bernard, and I want to thank Ms. Bernard for, literally following up, and I'm begging you all to please make submissions to the Biblio, okay? We want to thank all the authors who made this second edition possible and to ensuring the success and the continued publication of the Biblio. As usual, the publication will be shared with our members via email, all social media platforms, as well as through that new buzzword that I keep hearing from my members of the executive, the QR code. All right, so ladies, the QR code are there, and you all can scan with your phones and access the publication. Last year, you would recall that we spoke about the need for the association to look at rebranding. Due to the confusion between us and the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago, of which Mr. Asgarali is a member, I know. He has to be a member to be a bona fide lawyer, senior counsel. When we brought this information to you, we reported that when one does a search in Google, and these are facts, for LATT, the first 8 and sometimes 10 results is based on the Law Association. This shows that, we needed to do some work in terms of our discoverability. Today, I can tell you that when you do that search, and I know somebody's probably testing it as we speak, if I know any librarian and library information professional, you would find that you may get 3 hits as opposed to, we normally would have 1 as opposed to the 8, and now you would get 3 hits for the Library Association as opposed to the 5. And I think that is progress. Though it may seem small, it is, and that's important. It means that coming out of that, we are becoming more and more visible. And we are competing with a very flamboyant profession as well. And for us to get that increase in visibility, it says something. The first step in the updating of our logo, which I'm happy to unveil today, took place between all of last year. And if you know anything about library and information professionals, we love to bring many permutations before we make a decision. I am pleased today to announce that the executive board has finally agreed on this redesigned logo, and I just want you all to congratulate them because they almost drove me crazy coming up with it. I think it looks better and it represents Trinidad and Tobago in a simple way. So it's just basically a modification of the old logo. And I wanted to share what some of the creatives would have put forward. And I know some of our seniors in the room would have cringed at what was brought forward. And we worked through it, and now we are at this more streamlined look of the logo. Of course, persons are open to make comments, and we can make, we will take, recommendations going forward. And I see the secretaries looking at me, so I'm wrapping up. By October 2024, we aim as well to refurbish our office at the National Library building. Talks are continuing with the Executive Director of NALIS and myself to reorganize that office and have it available and open to our membership and to host our executive meetings. At next year's AGM, we hope to announce the top 8 results for LATT when you search for LATT. I just want to reiterate that. When you search LATT, that the Library Association would appear. And the ICT and the computing side of the library and information professionals in the room will appreciate that ability and understand the complexities of it. And as I close, because I have to, I'm getting the look from the secretary. As I close my address, I'm proud to announce that we will have a brief, very, very brief awards ceremony, and we wanted to really honor many, many others. It was a tough list, so we're doing it in 2 parts. In this meeting, we will be honoring, and then in the October meeting that we hope to have, we will do another list of awardees. We will have that brief ceremony, and I think that will be the highlight of my day, because we must recognize the leadership, the tireless work of the library and information, the leaders in the library and information field, and we need to take time to recognize those individuals and the sacrifices that it would make to ensure that we continue to be able to stand here. Ms. Joseph, we continue to stand here and represent and have continuity for the profession and for the delivery of library and information services. And I just want to end as I started. Alone, each member would have done little, but as an association, we have accomplished much. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams, for that report on the achievements of the Library Association of Trinidad and Tobago. I would just like to point out to everyone that we are indeed moving forward in a world that is technologically savvy, and we are no longer just behind the desk anymore, borrowing and returning books, but we are indeed entering into a new age. Thank you. Now we'd like to move on to our report from the Library Association of Trinidad and Tobago, and this time I'm just saying it for the last time before I say LATT, representative on the analysis board, Ms. Lauren Nero. Please give a round of applause, please.
Good morning, colleagues. This is just a mic test. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning. Good. It is indeed good to be here, and first I want to acknowledge all protocols observed, all our specially invited guests, and I want to acknowledge you, my fellow librarians. Thank you for being here. I take this opportunity to remind members present that according to the NALIS Act, the primary function of the board is to ensure the proper and efficient performance of the functions of the NALIS organization. Therefore, the board provides strategic direction to the organization, and ensures that there is adherence to the established procedures and guidelines. I say this because the report that I'm giving is in the context of that remit. The day-to-day activities are managed by the Executive Director, who we have present, Ms. Paula Green, and the Deputy Executive Director, Ms. Beverly Williams, right? So for the highlights that have taken place between when I last gave my report in March 2023 to present, that's what I'm going to give now. According to the Act, so we're going to talk about board membership. According to the Act, the board should comprise 8 members. And we did start off with 8 members. But now we have had 3 persons who are unable to serve. So the board now has 5 members. What are the implications of having 5 members on the NALIS board? For a meeting to be held, we must have a quorum of 5 persons. So far, the board has been meeting, and it has been also keeping to schedule where, according to the Act, we must meet at least once every 2 months, so we are meeting. However, we await the appointment of new members so that we can fill this gap. And it will be remiss of me if I don't thank the former board members, Dr. Shada Patasa, Mr. Martin Farina, and the Deputy Chair, Ms. Jacqueline Charles. So we thank them for their service. I am in the position following Ms. Williams' presentation. She's President of LATT, and she's the Deputy Executive Director of NALIS, and she loves to show off NALIS. She didn't leave room for me to show off, right? So, but I am going on they say it's nice, so you do it twice. Right, so but I won't take long with that. I want to commend NALIS for the award that it won in 2023. That's the OSCLC award, and for the co-located library project. For those of you who are not in NALIS and you're wondering what this co-located project is about, this is where libraries are placed in community centers where there is a presence and where the communities have the opportunity to engage library services. So you have in Mount Hope, you have in Belmont, and you also have in the Beecham Gardens. In 2023, you missed this one. The PAC Lab celebrated 10 years, and that's a major achievement. So let us thank the PAC Lab. They have been doing major conservation training and work in the Trinidad and Tobago space, and they have also provided regional training as necessary. Similarly, and those of you who know me know of my Tobago bias. Tobago celebrated 75 years of library services, so we also want to acknowledge that. Today we are sitting in the AV room, now called the Pamela Benson AV room. And this was renamed in September to honor the first titled Executive Director of NALIS. And it is a good thing when we can acknowledge the work of our librarians and have spaces named after them. So that's also a major thing coming out from NALIS. So those were the awards and the celebration. I am coming now to the human resources aspect of it. The board recommended, and the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago approved the reappointment of Ms. Paula Green as Executive Director and Ms. Beverly Williams as Deputy Executive Director for another 3-year term. We thank them for the work that they did in the first term, and we look forward to the strides that they are going to make in this, their second term. So well done, ladies. Last year, COSTAT and NALIS signed a Memorandum of Understanding. And sometimes you hear about signing of Memorandum of Understandings, but one of the tangible things that came out of that is that the persons holding the bachelor's in library and information science, says from COSTAT, can now be promoted into the professional post. And in fact, we have several persons who were promoted into librarian posts because of having the degree and as a result of that memorandum of understanding. So if we have COSTAT graduates in here or persons who are doing the program, know that this is in place, and once you push forward, you have the opportunity, once the positions are available, for promotion. If you're following NALIS in the press, you would have been seeing a number of MOUs being signed. And again, Mrs. Williams boasted about our relationship with China. So I just want to acknowledge that MOU with China, and that we have been accepted as a member of the Silk Road International Library Association. I also want to thank the two librarians, Delis Thomas and Jenna Sandiford Mondi, who represented us in China as they attended training, etc. So now let us go on to the business of buildings. Right. So let us start from Diego Martin Public Library was opened March 4th. We opened a brand new library. That's an accomplishment for librarians. We have, let us clap. We have the presence of Ms. Joseph here, former LATT member, former representative on the board, and she would have remembered the days and the lobbying to even get this building. So to have a library open, that's an accomplishment. One of the things that happened is that in the press, we had a lot of public debate about the value of libraries and physical spaces. It says to me that we librarians have to speak more and promote the diversity of our skills and the impact these can have to change the narrative that is taking place in the public domain. Additionally, we had the Tunapuna Library that was refurbished and it was reopened in April. We have Mayaro. Mayaro has been on the books for quite a while, but it is near ready. It is almost ready for us to engage, and one of the nice things about Mayaro is that it was built with the intention that some of the spaces could be rented so that income can be generated for NALIS. Similarly, we have the building of the La Joqueta Public Library that is moving along quickly. Let us put it like that, moving along quickly, and it was built with a similar intention that there is a public-private arrangement where we can have funding from private persons renting spaces. This is leading me now to the Chaguanas Library. The Chaguanas Library is still not bold, and what we would like is to have public-private partnership to get this site up and running so that we can provide the people in that community with a good library service and a good space. Yes, there is library service, but we need the space. So that is what is taking place with the Chaguanas Library. Then Toko. What has happened with Toko, we want to have a library built in Toko, but we need to do investigation into the land to ensure that once we are building it, that we don't have any issues. So those are some of the updates, and I can tell you, yes, we do wonderful things, we are proud of NALIS, etc., but I have to state that one of the main concerns that the board has is how to continue funding the NALIS enterprise. How do we seek ways to reduce some of our consumption through green initiatives, identifying grants that are beneficial to NALIS and collaborators, renting spaces for small corporate initiatives that can help it? How can we continue funding this enterprise when one of our main concerns is the human resources? ensuring that negotiations are completed, ensuring that we have money to pay the pensions of persons who would have served this noble organization. So those are some of the things that concern the board as we work with the executive team to try to find strategies to move forward. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nero, for that report. Now we'd like to move on to our treasurer's report. Now, as you all know, Ms. Candace is our treasurer. Candace Roberts, sorry, is our treasurer. However, unfortunately, she is indisposable at this moment as she is currently representing, I apologize for my vocabulary, as she is currently representing the Library Association of Trinidad and Tobago as she is currently representing the Library Association of Trinidad and Tobago. However, we would like to move on with Mrs. Jenna Sandiford Monday, our secretary, as she presents the treasurer's report. Give her a round of applause, please.
Good morning, everybody, and all protocols observed. I just wanted to give just a little bit of information about the program that Candace is currently preparing for. It's quite vigorous. It's called the International Library Leaders Program, and this is an opportunity from the British Library. It is an opportunity for library professionals who are at that mid-level point in their career to gain valuable insights into the library's initiatives, strategies, and programs, while also learning from their experiences of dealing with the everyday issues facing libraries today. It's a very robust program, so she would have had to spend a lot of time preparing. I believe she travels on Sunday to the UK. So I think that's a significant achievement, and I would like to give her a round of applause. We're just trying to pull up the report, the treasurer's report that was prepared by Candace. Or we could ask. Okay, I'll just start, yes. So this would have been the report for the year ending December 31st, 2023. At January 1st, 2024, the balance, and that would be cash at the First Citizens Bank business account of the association, would have stood at $45,708.61. And for the period January 1st to December 31st, 2023, I'm sorry, I believe I said January 1st, 2024? Yes, so it would have been at January 1st, 2023, the account would have stood at $45,708.61. During the period, we would have received income totaling to $71,275. And this would have comprised of dues, which accounted for $26,000, donations, which we vigorously pursued, Madam President, would have accounted for $45,275. And this was in response to that opportunity to attend the Jordan Conference. And because we wanted to make that presence known, we would have engaged several stakeholders to support the association. Our expenditure totaled $42,228.64, and this would have been due to the subscription and membership fees, strategic engagements, bank charges, donations, and miscellaneous events. We would have had a net loss of $0 for the period because, of course, our income would have exceeded our expenditure. And as December 31st, 2023, the cash at balance at the First Citizens business account would have amounted to $74,754.97. So in terms of membership dues, the projected membership dues for the period were $43,600. However, dues paid amounted to $26,000, which represented a shortfall of $17,600. And that is the end of the report. I thank you. And because it's not, of course, it will be sent via email to everyone. And I just wanted to say as well, in the spirit of collaboration, we do have Ms. Prokop, who is a chartered accountant. So we will be reaching out to you for some discussions in terms of assisting us with the preparation of our financial reports. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna, for giving our Treasurer's report. And just for clarification again, the Treasurer's report will be sent via email to every one of our members. Okay. So now we would like to move on in our agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce a special guest who has graciously joined us today. We are privileged to welcome Ms. Zhou Tongyu, the first secretary at the Embassy of the People's Republic of China. Ms. Zhou's dedication for fostering international relationships and her support for cultural and educational exchanges have significantly contributed to strengthening the ties between all partners. Her insights and perspectives are invaluable as we continue to build bridges of understanding and collaboration. Ms. Tongyu is the first secretary at the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago since September 2021. Working on the development of strong cultural relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and China and the enhancement of cultural exposure to every single one of each citizen. She also helps to promote the friendship ties through education, exchange, and cooperation. Before her current position, she has had decades of portfolio as a protocol officer and schedule organizer for invited foreign government delegations visiting the Shanghai city. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Zhou Tongyu to share her remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. Good morning, dear everyone. I acknowledge all protocols observed. It is my great honor to be invited to attend this 16th Annual General Meeting of the Library Association of Trinidad and Tobago. As the late Trinidadian author and historian Michel Antony once wrote, "A book is from your heart and mind. It is your love put to words." Today, we proudly celebrate the endowment of libraries, the fortress of knowledge, and the librarians who serve as the facilitator and guardian of the light and warmth that books have to offer. This month and the past week witnessed the significant moments binding our two nations and the libraries of Trinidad, Tobago, and China. When we celebrate the 50th year of diplomatic ties, the milestones in development of our relations through knowledge sharing and mutual learning exemplify. The momentum was first initiated at a meeting between His Excellency Ambassador Fang Qiu and the Chairman of NALIS, Mr. Neil Pasanel. And the progresses move on. On June 2023, Memorandum of Cooperation between the National Library of China and NALIS was signed at a two-leg ceremony, both in Port of Spain by Ms. Pauline Green, Executive Director of NALIS, and Chairman of NALIS, Mr. Pasanel, during the historic visit to China, Beijing. Right before that, NALIS became the newest member at the Silk Road International Library Alliance, embracing long-term cooperation and regular communications mechanisms. The Chinese book collection and selected books on and about Trinidad and Tobago were shelved in each other's national libraries, creating opportunities for the two peoples to know each other on a higher and more rounded platform. Our exchange and cooperation goes beyond the books. Recalling the recent history, NALIS graciously hosted a meet and greet session for the visiting Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs of China, now the Vice Minister, Her Excellency Hua Chunying, providing the public with access to more information about China and bridge the cultural appreciations. On the third China-TT Friendship Day, Chairman Mr. Pasanel spoke about the long history of friendship and cooperation between TT and China, which dates back for over 200 years, featuring harmony, integration, and mutual respect. During a friendly meeting with Ms. Huang Xiaowei, the Vice President of China Women's Federation, NALIS librarians for Ms. Dallas Thomas and Ms. Jenna Sandiford Monday shared their insights on the correlation of culture, development, society, and the role of women, gaining part of the inspirations from their recent training visits to China. NALIS' close and important connection with China via the Chinese Embassy is part of the vision and action to empower the people, especially the young generation, with global perspectives and the readiness to explore the future potentials. This was felt vividly when I attended a Chinese culture workshop at the Passport to the World summer camp at the Port of Spain Children's Library. The active engagement and the clever questions raised among the boys and girls impressed me profoundly. The Chinese people and the people of Trinidad and Tobago are alike on many facets. Essentially, we are all avid readers. May we wish our friendship and collaboration to be continuously nurtured by the wisdom of the mankind, rallied from generation to generation. Congratulations and happy the LATT Day. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Zhou Tongyu, for those words. We truly appreciate it. Now we'd like to move on to our remarks by Mr. Regan Ashkarali. I hope I've pronounced it correctly. Okay, thank you. So I'd first like to have my pleasure to introduce a distinguished guest who brings both expertise and a touch of charisma to our gathering. Today, we are honored to have with us Mr. Regan Askarali, Senior Counsel and Comptroller of the Intellectual Property Office. Please welcome Mr. Askarali.
Thank you, Chair. All protocols observed. But it would be remiss of me if, and good morning to all our distinguished librarians, it would be remiss of me because I was thinking about the theme for a short remarks, and then Ms. Williams brought it to me right here. This logo compared to the Law Association's logo. I happen to be quite an expert in logos and also as the controller dealing with disputes in our tribunal that has held disputes for well over 50 disputes to date in the last few years. I could tell you that I had my team doing some work, Beverly. We looked at the new logo, we did our searches, and it's fine. And it can be distinguished. There's a case marked brown. It's called the Aardvark case. So I hope that you'll be protecting that. Executive Director Green, protecting it as a trademark. Yes, that will resolve any issues. So thanks again. I'm very pleased and honored here on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago Intellectual Property Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs as Controller to deliver these short remarks at your celebration of 60 years as the Library Association of Trinidad and Tobago. 60, but I don't see any retirees here, right? We're all young and excited about librarianship. And I have no choice to be because, my mother, Leonie Asgrali, who is in the great beyond, I grew up at the Hewarding Library. So there's something about being amongst the books, and I still love the feel of old books, although we're in the information age now, and we have online and all of these exciting areas. And what really underpins that for your intellectual property? The express creations of the human mind. So being amongst you distinguished librarians makes me feel at home. And for some of you, I'm going to speak about some of the work that we've been doing at the TTIPO. And I'm happy to say in recent years, the government has acceded to a number of treaties that is relevant to librarianship, relevant to the LATT and to NALIS, and incentivizing the creativity and inventiveness of our people. One of the most important treaties is our accession to the Marrakesh Treaty to facilitate access to published works for persons who are blind, visually impaired, or otherwise print disabled. It was completed on October 4th, 2019, and incorporated into the Copyright Act of Trinidad and Tobago by Act number 14 of 2020. It was not an easy negotiation. We spent years negotiating this in Geneva. I remember one night at 12:30, then First Secretary Mizzou, your equivalent, First Secretary to the Trinidad and Tobago Mission in Geneva, Justin Sobian, as he was then, and myself, we quibbled over a word and proffered it. I don't want to wax too legally warm here. And one of those words was accepted and found itself into the treaty, because every line has to be negotiated. And it was challenging, because you had to balance the rights of copyright owners against this need for our visually impaired class. NALIS, we insisted, would be that authorized entity. And NALIS is now the model in the region. In fact, we had Bahamas here last year, studying how they could implement Marrakesh. I've had discussions with colleagues across the Caribbean, how we could really look at that model and really address the book famine as it was then and now. So I also, want to bring this down to the reality of the work, why public service is so important, and the work that we do. Because at the national consultation, I remember probably 4 or 5 years ago, I vividly recall a gentleman. He was visually impaired. He was in our office. He attended the national stakeholder consultation. He had his school-age daughter, right? She's sighted, she can see. And he came up to me and he said, Controller, so why must I not be allowed to help my daughter with her homework because I have a visually impairment? That struck a chord. And that is why this treaty is one of the most important among the many treaties that we've done, and to continue the work that NALIS is doing. And when you look at that work, to the best of my knowledge, NALIS is one of the first, if not the first, authorized entity in the Caribbean region to benefit from a project for the conversion of educational texts for the school curriculum. And this is historical. For the first time, our beneficiaries or VIPs will have equal access to school texts and reading materials. This goes to the heart of your mission, even at LATT, which seeks to ensure access to information for all. Colleagues, the Accessible Books Consortium through WIPO currently offers over 820,000 titles in 80 languages, 200,000 plus in English, in a range of accessible formats and over 9,000 music scores. In Braille, in addition to this vast range, WIPO's ABC applications makes accessible digital books for direct download by individuals who are beneficiaries of this treaty. An exciting new partnership being negotiated even in the last few weeks is between WIPO's ABC and Dolphin Computer Access, forging a path to make the ABC catalog available to beneficiaries on their devices of choice. So no longer here, although we have beautiful rooms here, now, we're taking it into the libraries, into the villages throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And this presents significant opportunities for our students to access texts and classics. And yes, there are many classics and books that have been written by our authors, our people, our culture, that is available across border, the power of the treaty, for all the countries that are party to Marrakesh, and also for our persons. I just did a search the other day. V.S. Naipaul's works available at your fingertips for our beneficiaries. I'm also pleased to indicate that we also have a library at the office. The Intellectual Property Library of Trinidad and Tobago was established in December 2017 to provide resources in IP and innovation. Notably, the IP library was granted depository status by WIPO. It is proudly led by Miss Judy Lee, who is one of your very own, yes, and is provided with annual publications, including books, magazines, CDs, reports, and various topics. And why is this so important? The little-known tribunal I spoke about that deals with intellectual property disputes amongst users, Judy provides the research for myself and my judgments, for my team who writes these judgments. She also provides research in our publications, both nationally and regionally. And the investment of intellectual property education through the courses at WIPO, such as the DL 101, is an absolute must for all librarians as we look now into the new eras of unearthing intellectual property, innovation through licensing, and ready to take IP everywhere together with you all. Consider us our partner. We will support every single application for that DL 101 at the national office so that every librarian and member of LATT could be certified in this area and have the knowledge to take it forward. I also, in closing, it's short remarks, to recognize the symbiotic relationship between the exceptions which exist in the field of copyright and the work of our stellar librarians, the persons who are really taking this work in the forefront of our communities. In furtherance, I chaired the regional seminar for Latin American Caribbean groups of libraries, archives, museums, and educational and research institutions in the field of copyright. Wow, that's a mouthful. Ooh. It was in Santo Domingo in July 2019. The recommendations arising out of this has proved beneficial, and we are now producing toolkits to further harmonize exceptions. It may not culminate in a new treaty. We continue to advocate for more access, but certainly how, balancing the rights of our very important copyright owners and access to information. It's a work in progress, and we continue this work for you all. So more work to be done for librarians, more work for us on the policy end, and for us who have devoted it's been 2 decades of my life in this area and in IP and innovation. So we will continue to partner with you all. I remember the beautiful Scarborough Library. We did a session online. Ms. Lorinda Passad, my legal officer, to deliver that. And please reach out to the IP office. We are available online or in person to come to each library to engage with stakeholders and explain the importance of what you all do in LATT. And on that note, I will not bore you with any more, just to say that we have before Cabinet soon. Well, it's before Cabinet and approved. So before the Parliament in the next term, God willing, an extension to the Copyright Act. And that's so important. The Copyright Act, as you know, is your most powerful piece to support authors. And copyright lasts for the life of an author plus 50 years after their demise. And we're extending it to 70, which is the international standard right now. And what that would allow is to complement the work we're doing. For instance, to close, they're in an IDB, Inter-American Development Bank project right now, looking at developing IP valuation guidelines. I'm going to break it down. Persons, hopefully in this country, will be able to access finance based on their intangible value, worth, their books, their movies, their songs, these things. We just did a mock session looking at Calypso Rose. Traditionally, you know, if you get older at 60, since this is 60, you may not be able to get a loan, right? But with your intellectual property extending to 70 years further on, it gives you that added time to maybe get a mortgage in your wintry years when you need access to funds, and the copyrights would be the security. And that's the work we're doing with the banks. Republic Bank has been heavily engaged, FCB, and it's some groundbreaking stuff, you know, and I really hope for the success of these initiatives, because what you all do, it's about preserving our culture, preserving the work of our authors. Those books are their life's work, and we support it from this end, and will continue to partner with NALIS and LATT. Get your trademark done as well, going forward. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Asquarali, for those words. First of all, I'd like to apologize for not reading your bio. I sincerely apologize. It does not matter. You have a natural charisma, so it made up for it. I would also like to let persons apologize, know that any other matters, we do recognize that we skipped over it. However, we will be conducting that after the remarks. Okay? Now, to move on to the agenda, it is my great pleasure to introduce a remarkable leader and an advocate for professional excellence in our nation. We are honored to have with us here today Ms. Corinne Prokop, the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Group of Professional Associations. Ms. Prokop is a distinguished attorney at law and chartered accountant, recognized as a fellow of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants and a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Trinidad and Tobago. With over 15 years of extensive experience in finance, Ms. Prokop has held pivotal roles in regional and multinational organizations spanning diverse industries. Currently serving a second term as president of the Trinidad and Tobago Group of Professionals, she also holds the position of secretary at the ACCA Caribbean TNT local chapter and vice chairperson of the Investigations Tribunal of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Trinidad and Tobago. She is also actively involved in various other non-profit and profit organizations in membership and directorial capacities. Ms. Prokop plays a crucial role in fostering collaboration and innovation within the professional community. In addition to her corporate leadership, Ms. Prokop contributes significantly to academia, lecturing on finance and accounting at the UWI School of Business and Applied Sciences. Her commitment extends beyond professional realms as she engages in mentorship programs for young professionals and provides strategic counsel to small business owners in her spare time. Ms. Prokop's dedication to continuous learning and community impact is further exemplified by her hobbies, which include reading, running, socializing, and traveling. Now, before I move on, I would like to say thank you, Ms. Prokop, because even though you hold all these hats, you have given us some of your time today, and it's truly appreciated. I would also like to let persons know that in the upcoming Biblio, we have an awesome interview that was given by Ms. Prokop. I know that you will genuinely enjoy it. So now, please welcome Ms. Prokop as she delivers insight on synergy for sustainability, libraries and cross-sectional collaboration, a theme that is aligned with her 2023 annual report message of Staying the Course, which emphasizes innovation and collaborative efforts with stakeholders and member associations within the group for sustained success. Please welcome Ms. Prokop.
Pleasant good morning, everyone. Now, I probably would have revised the bio to put distinguished next to accountant if I knew I was coming after a senior counsel. So saying distinguished attorney after a senior counsel doesn't sound too good. But that being said, I am a very new attorney at law, and I follow Reagan on social media because I am very passionate about IPOs as well. My first stint at the TTGPA, I started off as a treasurer, and when they were going through the accounts with me, I saw LATT on the receivables, and I was like, I'm a new attorney, and I'm thinking, LATT as part of TTGPA? They was like, no, it's not you lawyers. So my pause actually rose this morning when you said that when you search LATT on Google now, it brings up the Library Association, because that is extremely significant. I mean, I actually pull it up on my phone as well. So I really want to commend you guys. That is great work to bring that to the forefront, because visibility is something that everybody faces within the profession. So that brings me to my remarks today. So it's both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today as we celebrate the 60th annual general meeting of the Library Association of Trinidad and Tobago. The theme, Synergy for Sustainability, Libraries and Cross-Sectional Collaboration, encapsulates a vision that is both timely and necessary for the future of our libraries and communities. To begin, let's consider the literal definition of sustainability: the ability to continue over a period of time. The United Nations expands on this by defining sustainability as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This concept, although seemingly straightforward, holds profound implications for our libraries, our communities, and our world. I'm sure many of us would have heard sustainability as a buzzword anywhere you go, right? For the past 5 years, the Trinidad and Tobago Group of Professional Association, commonly referred to as the TTGPA, has embraced themes around sustainability, focusing on the longevity and well-being of both our association and our members. Our current theme, Staying the Course, underscores the importance of innovation and collaborative efforts with stakeholders and member associations within the group. This approach aligns seamlessly with our theme today, emphasizing the synergy required for sustainable success. The TTGPA recognizes that achieving continuity and relevance necessitates robust collaboration with our members. This principle of synergy and collaboration is not new to us. In fact, it was foundational to our inception. In 1969, inspired by the initiatives of the Commonwealth Foundation, representatives from 12 professional organizations came together to form the TTGPA. The mandate was clear: to promote local professional cooperation, provide practical facilities, and offered shared secretarial services to professional societies. In 1986, the TTGPA constructed a professional center in Woodbrook and was designed to provide a space for associations, encouraging a joint professional approach to education, training, and relations with schools and universities. It also serves as a platform for offering collective advice to the government on issues of legislation, manpower development, and planning. The center embodies our commitment to fostering synergy and collaboration among professionals. Our goal is to be the voice of professionals. Since then, we have grown to encompass 20 member associations across a diverse array of professions. Just to name a few, the membership includes accountants, engineers, contractors, architects, auditors, dentists, pharmacists, general practitioners, and of course, librarians, whom has been a proud member of TTGPA since 2004. Many of our member associations share the same concern of maintaining relevance and sustainability of a rapidly changing world. To address this, the TTGPA actively seeking to collaborate with our members on school drives aimed at educating and informing future generations about our respective professions and their attractiveness. Just to let you give some insight, I attend schools to speak on behalf of the accounting profession, and you will be surprised to know how many students find accountants are non-attractive. This initiative not only fosters knowledge, but also ensures that our professions continue to thrive. With libraries being that source of knowledge and information, it fits well with many of our members' school drives. Allow me to share a personal story as well. The first storybook I read to my daughter was Lola at the Library by Anna McQueen. Before the age of 3, she could have read the entire book. And when I say read, it was more out of repetition and memory and looking at the pictures. Not that I had a baby genius. Now, at 5 years old, she has a genuine love for books and views the library as a special place. She will often tell me, "Mommy, when are we going to the library?" This early introduction to libraries has instilled in her a love for reading and learning. However, we face a unique challenge with younger generations, or generations before her. Ask a Gen Z about visiting the library, and they might look at you as if you were talking about non-touchscreen flip phones or dial-up internet. Some of us might know a thing about that, right? This reaction highlights the need for us to innovate and make libraries appealing and relevant to today's youth. Libraries must evolve from being mere repositories of books to dynamic hubs of learning, technology, and community engagement. Through cross-sectional collaborative initiatives with other organizations, businesses, institutions, and associations, we can combine our resources, expertise, and networks to create synergies that will not only benefit our libraries, but also communities we serve. An approach aligned with TTGPA. As we look to the future, let us remember that sustainability is not a destination, but a continuous journey. It requires us to work together, leveraging our collective strengths to overcome challenges and seize opportunities. Through collaboration, innovation, and a steadfast commitment to our shared goals, we can ensure that libraries remain vital, vibrant, and invaluable parts of our communities for generations to come. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to our continued collaboration in building a sustainable future, and I look forward to the fruitful discussions after. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Prokop. Now, I am sure you all truly enjoyed Ms. Prokop's remarks